Guess what's inside?
We have great news today. But first, let's open this up. That's just beautiful. Yeah. Can you guess what's this?
Do you remember this one? Pressure accumulator for the water system?
Yeah, we used to have 2 of these. Yeah, this is 1.2 liters, the other one was 1 liter. So together 2.2 liters.
This accumulates pressure so the pump doesn't turn on and off so frequently.
It's just like when you have a painting gun to use with the compressor. If you have a huge compressor, you just work without any noise of the engine working. If you have a small tank, the engine runs all the time to create more pressure inside of the tank. So the bigger you have the tank, less times the pump works, but works for longer. That means a better life for the pump.
Yeah.
So we decide.
This one's 8 liters.
Yeah. I mean, it might be a little bit too big, but we have space. The space we could fit 2 of these plus the pump. Now we can fit a bigger pump and a bigger pressure accumulator. That's just awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So this is what we're gonna work. I'm not sure if this week or if you're gonna see next week, but for us, this is not just a pressure accumulator system. What is this?
This is kind of a transition point in our journey.
Yeah, this is a passport for freedom.
Yeah.
We are getting you confused, right?
I'm Roberta.
And I'm Duca.
And for the past year, we have been building our own tiny shipping container house, so we can travel around knowing that we will always have this little place that we can call home.
But guess what? We just found our dream project before we expected. This abandoned sailboat. So we are gonna stop building the house for a couple months to bring our boat back to life. And then we're gonna go back and finish the house. So why did we replace this?
Because when we opened this one, there's a membrane inside and the membrane wasn't working. It was like
Broken.
broken.
And we couldn't find the membrane to buy. We would replace that one, just the membrane, but it wasn't possible. And that's the reason why we bought a brand new one. And as we are replacing, as we have space on the boat, why not have a bigger one? So the pump don't need to run all the time. And that's just great. I think for the pump's gonna thank us for that. Yeah, but there's something else we need to talk about today. I mean, not we need, but we want to. Yeah, what are the plans change from now on?
So, you just saw the intro of our channel, right? The intro say we are gonna refit a boat for a couple months, and plans changed.
We've been here for a year already.
Yeah.
Originally, our plan was to stay a couple months, and then we decided no, we're gonna stay on the boatyard until we are done. We are only gonna splash the boat when the boat is ready to set sail, and that's it. Never look back. I mean, look, yeah. No, the reason for that is because we are in a place that's really comfortable to refit the boat. We have like a lot of people that know what they're doing around for everything we need. We have a lot of supplies around. It's a really good place to work.
Yeah.
But as you guys know, during the past 4 months, things change everywhere. I mean, here is good to work, but right now we feel like we would better be on the water. It would be much more safe for us to be on the water, so we want to isolate ourselves on the water.
Yeah.
And we just don't want to stay in the boatyard for that longer.
So the plan now is to do as little as we can to go to the water soon.
Yeah, but there is another reason for that, because if we wait until the end to go to the water, that means that we would go to the water and have no sails for the boat, because we're going to have brand new sails. But in order to order the brand new sails, we need to measure the mast, and in order to measure the mast, we need to do the final adjustments of the mast, and we don't want to do that on the dry, because the boat is not straight or is not level with the ground, and then the mast is not level, and we might get the sails made wrong. So we want to go to the water so we can measure the mast, we can like final adjust the mast, install the second genoa further, and we can finally get the sails. And while they make the sails, we can finish the last details and leave.
So now the plan is to, we had a list of things that we need to do before we go to the water that we are going to share with you.
The list is smaller than we thought. To be honest, it's funny because until today we were not that anxious to go to the water, and for the past 2 months since quarantine and everything, we're just getting like excited and like more anxious. It's been actually hard to sleep. But good news is we are getting closer and closer and closer. So let's do something. Yeah. So
let's start the list.
Class, let's the class begin. We are gonna do from now on. We are gonna chase the list we are gonna do here. That's something that a lot of people have been asking. What you still need to do on the boat. So people are asking, us to. You remember we used to have a list there on the bulkhead. The list just got lost because we did more than we needed, we did less than we. It's just confusing. So now we are gonna do actually a list, and we're gonna follow this list. We're gonna chase everything we put here. We're gonna skip this part, do a time lapse while we write this, and then we show you the list because it's just gonna be confusing. I said it was a short list, right? Are you guys ready for this long list? I mean, it seems long, but it's not. Don't get scared. Let's go through this. You're gonna be fine with it.
To the list before we splash the boat. Hydraulics. We need to install all the valves. We have 10 valves.
Maybe 11.
We need to install the hose back.
That's the cold water system.
And we need to install the pressure pumps, the bilge pumps, pressure accumulator that we just showed you, the toilets, and we need to close the water tank.
So this, even though it's a long list, is one big job. That means doing the water system on the boat.
Yeah.
We already got most of the pre-work, the preparation work done. So that's what we're gonna start doing this week. We're gonna start getting this together.
And we also bought all the material we need. We always have some to buy, but we got the material.
We believe we have everything now because it always takes longer when you think you have everything, and then when you start, there is like a screw missing, and then it takes like another 2 days.
Yeah.
So welding.
Welding. We need to fix the anchor chain.
Yeah. This sounds weird, fixing the anchor chain. Our chain is really good. We have like 2 rings that somehow I think the galvanization wasn't good and are really terrible, but we don't believe it's worth to condemn the chain and just buy a new one because the chain is in a really good shape.
12 millimeters.
Yeah, 12 millimeter chain. So we're gonna weld a custom made ring to use in the future.
It's how can I say, solution not for the future, it's a solution for a short period. We need to install 2 goosenecks on the deck. That's
a tricky one. We're gonna actually do that tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah, we are.
We
tearing the boat apart again.
Yeah, we did part of the electrical design of the boat, and we got excited with that, and we decided to do a renovation of the 12-volt system also. So with the 12-volt system, we are also going to install the new electronics, and to install the new electronics, we're going to install in a different place, and in order to install in a different place, we need to run the wires through the deck, and we need to have a gooseneck for that, so that's gonna be a big job.
All the 12 volts panel and everything we are gonna do while we are in the water, but we need to do all the welds before we go to the water.
It's possible to weld a metal boat in the water, but you get a much shorter life of all the anodes, and as we replace 13 anodes, we don't want to lose them, so we rather do all the welding outside of the water. So we have another 2 tubes that we need to weld to the hull to pass the water line through the hull, so we're gonna have salt water and fresh water on the stern and on the bow, so we need to do that. On the deck,
we need to install the steering wheel back, the quadrant, the swim deck and the swim ladder, and also finish the anchor locker. The
finishings of the we have like a separation, a wood separation in between both halves of the anchor locker. We need to give some more epoxy on the wood and install back in place. Yeah.
And the seals of the locker that we already bought the rubber.
Yeah. By the way, some of these tasks we have done already. We are gonna, in the end of this episode, check everything we have done, because otherwise you're gonna be like, these guys are crazy. They think they're gonna go to the water soon. They're not gonna go.
And some are halfway done.
Halfway done. Yeah. So painting job. I don't know if you remember, but we mentioned that we had a few small bubbles on the paint of the boat, on the orange. Yeah. So we need to fix that before we go to the water, and we are already working on that. This is almost done. So we need to do some of the fixings of the painting. We need to treat the center board. That's one of the biggest tasks. The 2 main tasks we need to do before going to the water is the hydraulics, because right now the boat will sink if we put on the water, because there is no valves on the boat. There are no valves. And we need to raise the boat in order to put the center board 100% down. And as the boat it is right now, we cannot put the center board down. And if we don't put the center board down, we cannot treat the inside of the center board box. And that's one of the next things, next week probably.
We need to apply the prop speed on our
propeller.
Propeller.
And also we need to do our paint job. That's quick.
Yeah.
engine.
And we have 2 holes to replace on the engine room. We need to install the new keys because the one that we have is not working properly.
We need to close the diesel tanks.
This ladder is not that
Salt water flange. Yeah, there's the big flange with a valve that brings water from the ocean to the engine. Basically this is with the hydraulics, it's the same kind of flange. We are working all together, so
others. Centerboard line we need to exchange, we bought it already to replace it.
But more than that, we need to raise the boat, otherwise we cannot replace the line. So we are waiting when we raise the boat to paint the inside, and then we replace the lines.
We need to open our new dinghy that we bought 6 months ago, and we didn't open it yet, we didn't inflate it yet.
Yeah, the reason for that is because before going to the water we need to decide where we're going to store the dinghy. We might use the davits on the stern of the boat, or we might want to create a support right in front of the cockpit. We don't know yet. We need to try places and see where it fits better and where we want to keep the dinghy.
We want to have all the weight we are gonna have on the boat when we are in the water, so we can adjust the mess.
Trim the mess, because right now the boat, I don't know if you noticed, but the boat's not straight on the ground. The bow of the boat's really high. That's just the way they put the boat on the dry. And the mess, it's probably facing forward too much, so we need to put on the water and do this with the mess, and then we want to have all the weight, as she said, on the boat, so we can properly trim the mess.
And we need to close the flanges, and we need to paint the wood inside.
The flange is the instrument flange, the one that we showed you already. That we have the sensors. Yeah, for the depth sensor, we need to install that.
So from this week, from now on, we are gonna do miscellaneous jobs
in order to
accomplish this.
Yeah, our goal. Oh, we can talk about that before we end this episode. In the end of the episode, we're gonna let you know how long we think that's gonna take.
Okay, let's keep away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have hoses here anymore. So today I'm gonna sand this area and we are gonna treat this with stain. So let's get started. What?
We can see the sails from here.
And from the other side as
well. It's a beautiful view. Check this out. That's so cool. Yeah. I didn't know you were working.
So the idea is to paint this area before we install the new insulator here. Is the name insulator?
Inverter charger. Insulator is that one.
The new inverter charger here, because we want to protect this area, so we are gonna apply stain. Can you show that?
Yeah, it's just so the wood don't keep absorbing water, humidity. So we just wanna seal the wood. I think this is gonna be enough.
Yeah, I hope so. Time for some painting.
Let your angels come to corners with me. Riddle out every shadow you see. Ring a bell, shake the cross, give them hell, whatever the cost. Summon all of your revelry. Say a word against the indecency. You're alright, not alone. Keep up the fight, safe in the cold.
Even though we bought the matte natural cetal, it seems that the wood gets a little bit darker than the natural color, but at least it's gonna protect the wood. So let's go to the second part. So this one is the space where the battery for the engine goes. That's this one, the big one, 150. And now I'm gonna paint this area.
Every ride, every carousel stops. In the end, end it all without loss. Riddle out every shadow you see. Bring it back, shake it off, give it hell, whatever the cost. Put on your brightest shine. Put on your brightest shine.
Someone is doing a great job.
See?
How is it going there?
I guess I should wear a hat or something like that. Even a t-shirt in my head would be good to avoid this. See you. See you tomorrow.
And I don't wanna be lonely when winter is freezing and trees start to bolt. And I don't wanna be sitting alone in a room that's just filled with my soul. And so I came to this place, I'm looking for a familiar face, and that's when I saw you.
See, she's a really hard worker. Strong. I'm proud. She painted almost all the lockers inside by herself. That was a lot of work.
A lot of work, and inside the boat, as much as I opened the windows and put some vents, the smell of the cetol is really strong. My eyes, even with the glasses, were like...
Yeah. I would help, but I need to try to see if she's the one, you know, so... No, it's not true. I was doing something else while she did that, so I had a lot of things that I need to do. So now, you must be thinking, you didn't take many of these items, right? Yeah, the truth is, you still have some of these that we did, but we didn't show you because this episode is too long. So for now, we are gonna...
risk.
Wooden paint, check. You can do it properly. Oh, you need to cross first. No, you need to... Oh, you want to cross?
Yeah.
So, flanges. We have 3 flanges. We close 2 of them. So that means... I think that's it.
That's it. We see you next week when we do something else of this late. We can
So,
guess. You
how
can
long?
guess which one.
How long it's gonna take to do all that?
We think 2 months.
No,
Maybe
1.5. 1.5.
My birthday. We can go to the water on 7 of August 7.
Maybe. Let's work for that. I mean, like, seems like this is a long list, but all of this is one thing. All of this we're gonna finish really soon. It's, I think... Oh, she's excited. She wants to have her birthday on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the plan now is to try to get to the water by August 7th. If we don't do that, sorry, we are trying hard. Our effort is to go to the water here. And from there, we still have some stuff we need to do on the water before we leave. But the plan is to put on the water, trim the mess, order the sails, and while they make the sails, we finish the rest, and then we leave as soon as possible, so we can stay on the anchor and be safe. Because right now, people stop talking about that in Brazil a lot. Like, feels like life is back to normal, but it's not. Every single day, we know someone that knows someone that has COVID. So we just don't feel like staying here for that longer. I think it's gonna be much better if we just stay on the boat and we can anchor in a few different spots, and we are free to sail around our hometown and have so many different spots that we can show you guys, and we can be safe and enjoy a little bit. I think that's, yeah. Because right now it's just like we are working pretty much by ourselves with the help of Fred. Yeah, Fred's helping a lot, but Fred is a safe one to help because he lives with us in the same apartment, so we feel confident. We talk about that every single day. We really take care as much as we can when we leave the apartment. He do the same, so we are doing okay. But from now on, hopefully we'll go to the water soon.
So let's welcome on board our new patrons for this week.
That's pretty good.
Welcome on board Adam,
Adrian,
Martin and Luis,
Alex.
Alex, bem-vindo Alex.
Bem-vindo Alex. And we also want to thank 2 donations to our PayPal.
Thanks once again, Scully.
And Jandus. Guys, thanks so much. We really appreciate your support, and your support means that we can take the time and edit these videos and share everything with everyone.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. But for this week, that's it.
For this week, that's it. Guess what we are gonna do next week?
The list is here.
Around here.
Let us know what you want to see. The list is here, and next week we're gonna show you.
So, we see you guys
Next
week.
week.
Next Monday.
Your cup. A dark cappuccino is what made us meet. The way you came toward me, dragging your feet, and I just smiled at you.